Hello, my name is Brian Bost, and I am a anal cancer thriver. I was diagnosed with anal cancer in 2019. I was stage IIIA. Presently, I am cancer-free, going on 4 years. This is a hard thing for me to do. And I've asked my wife, my best friend, who truly was my rock and my inspiration on this journey, to do this with me. In 2018, I turned 50 years old, and it became time for my 50-year-old colonoscopy. Due to insurance, it took till 2019 to get the screening done. And at that point in time, we were told, looks great. See you in 10 years. That was in January of 2019. Throughout the rest of 2019, I began to experience more and more problems, classic symptoms: bleeding rectally with accompanied weight loss, fatigue. The pain got to the point in 2019 where I was going to my primary care physician and begging for further exploration. A PSA turned out to be normal. And then upon going back to my primary care physician, with my wife there with me being very supportive, a rectal examination was done. The pain from that was excruciating, as I had blood and pus dripping down both my legs. The primary care physician was scared, didn't know what to do, and finally referred me to general surgery. December 10th, 2019, I went in for a exploration under anesthesia. In pre-op, I was unable to void. An ultrasound done on my bladder showed that I was retaining a lot of fluid, even though I had nothing to drink from midnight before. And a catheter was inserted, relieving my pain. I woke up from that procedure as an inpatient. I woke up from a colonoscopy as an inpatient, with a Penrose drain in my anal region. A Penrose drain is really nothing more than just a piece of plastic tubing that is put through two holes of an opening to allow drainage to occur. I spent 4 days as an inpatient. Upon being released, I came home. During 2019, we had 2 high school children. And I literally prayed to God to take my life because the pain was so bad. My loving wife was my advocate and my support. And she went with me to the multiple medical appointments after that. As a side note, both of us are physical therapists. And one of my wife's patients' mothers happened to be a surgeon. The surgeon recommended that we see a particular surgeon in our area, and that was all she recommended. But it was not a bad recommendation. It actually saved my life. December 10th, I went in for that surgery. December 27th, I went back for the follow-up, removal of the Penrose drain. And I should have known something was up when the surgeon brought 3 nurses back into the room with me. And I was given the diagnosis of anal cancer. Stage was not known at that point in time. That's when my incredible, strong, and compassionate, loving wife said, we want to go see this particular surgeon. So we went from general surgery to a colorectal surgeon the same day. An unheard of precedence in the healthcare system that I belong to. That surgeon met us at 4 p.m. on Friday afternoon. He told me to go home for that weekend and enjoy my time. Not that he was thinking that there was going to be anything detrimental, but he saw no reason to do another exploration under anesthesia over the weekend. I checked back into the hospital on Monday, January 30th, 2019. Surgery for exploration under anesthesia, multiple tests, and finally the diagnosis of, yeah, you've got stage 3 anal cancer. For a man who is a heterosexual and never been diagnosed with HPV, genital warts, I was dumbfounded. And my family was rocked. In preparation for the radiation and chemotherapy, my wife and I talked to the surgeon, and we decided that a temporary colonoscopy would be a good idea. Here I am 4 years later, and that colonoscopy is permanent. But the way I look at it is I'd rather be alive and poop into a bag than be dead. I thank my wife's veracity and advocacy for helping to save my life. You went into those meetings with the surgeon, quote unquote, loaded for bear. You had a list of questions, and you did not let that surgeon leave the room or waver until all of your questions were answered. And I would like you to describe how you advocated for me with that surgeon and the radiation oncologist and the medical oncologist.
I think advocating for my husband began with the first general surgeon who seemingly at our follow-up was also unclear of our future. I'm thankful for our education that provided us knowledge to move forward and ask educated questions as well as to do research. But I challenged that physician with what I knew of the body systems and where my husband was. He tried to shut me down, but I kept pushing. I pulled strings that I had, called in favors, late night calls, lots of meetings, a lot of research, and started a notes page on my phone developing questions. And we did not move forward until all of my questions could be answered. The colorectal surgeon we had, when he did his first surgery, explained that he would, and he's well seasoned, he said that he would never forget what Bryan looked like, because it was bad. I asked him about a second opinion, and he said that if anyone ever told us we didn't need a second opinion, we should get up and run out of that office. But he also said that we didn't have much time, that we needed to do it fast. So I put it back in his court, and I knew he was a very well-respected surgeon here in the entire Southeast where we are. But I told him I wanted a second opinion of someone, from someone that he respected. And he sat back and he said, okay, let me ponder that. After that surgery, Bryan had the temporary colostomy, actually 2 days later, and
January 1st of 2020.
And then he was molded for radiation within a couple days. And we moved forward at that point. But I think it's really important, it's easy to get lost in the fear. But I think the first thing that we did was pray. And I began to circle the wagon, so to speak. You know, all the people that loved us and would support us. I contacted family members via text message, let them know where we were, what was happening. And I told them not to respond to the text message, do not call me, that I would let them know when I had more information to share. And that was within 24 hours. But I also went to our children and I told them that we were in a very tight circle of trust, and we would move forward and trust each other and work together to bring Dad home, and that we were going to fight like hell, and we did.
This video is only supposed to be 5 minutes long, and I think we're close to 20 right now. My take-home message: you have got to advocate for yourself. As healthcare providers, we understand that physicians have limited time that they can spend with patients. General practitioners, family medicine practitioners,
Surgeons.
don't understand these complaints. You have got to fight for yourself, because your life depends on it. Your loved ones depend on it. Do this. Advocacy for yourself, because it's that important. Chris and I will be available for the panelists, and we look forward to any comments, questions that you have. Thank you. Continue to fight. And I pray for your recovery and your healing.